guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to talk about everything you need to know about carbohydrates, from different types of carbohydrates and how they're digested in your body, to different types of carbohydrates to actually use and purchase, and which ones to stay away from. Please make sure you tune in for the whole video, because in the end I'm going to talk about how to read labels and what to be conscious of. By the way guys, if you don't know me, my name is Seppi, and after losing 40 pounds I've become so passionate about nutrition, and I've created this whole channel to share that with you guys. So if you're interested in this topic, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. So carbs are categorized in three different types: monosaccharides, that are just simple sugar molecules like fructose and glucose. There's disaccharides, which are two monosaccharides combined together to form a slightly more complex molecule, such as maltose, found in bread, lactose, found in milk, and sucrose, found in table sugar. And finally, there are polysaccharides, that are hundreds and thousands of these monosaccharides and disaccharides combined together, forming a very complex molecule, such as the fiber and the starch that you can find in plants, and glycogen that you can find it in our animal tissues and our tissues in general. So what happens to a carbohydrate molecule when you actually eat it? So the first thing that happens is the salvia in your mouth is going to start the process of breaking down the carbohydrates molecule initially. Then the food is going to start finding its way down to your stomach, and the process of breaking down is going to stop. Then it's going to move into your small intestine, and what happens there is that there are enzymes that are sent from your pancreas to break these carbohydrates molecule into even smaller pieces. Then the food is actually going to be absorbed through your small intestine wall, and it's going to find its way to your liver, where it's going to break down even further to the smallest form of carbohydrates, which is glucose. Glucose is actually the main source of energy, and some people would say the favorite source of energy for your body. Your body uses it for your physical activities, for your brain activities, as well as your central nervous system. If you have any extra glucose left in your body that wasn't used for energy, your body is actually going to store it as glycogen in your tissues and your muscles for later use. Because of all of this, if you want to maintain a good, healthy diet for yourself, you have to make sure you include carbohydrates in your diet. Keep in mind the minimum amount of carbohydrates a healthy average person needs to be using is 130 grams a day. If you want to find out how much carbohydrates should you be using in your diet daily, make sure you check out the link that I will leave in the description below. And I also understand that some of you are watching your weight and trying to stay healthy while you're losing a few pounds, and you might be scared of carbs. How many of you guys have heard it on the news or have read an article about carbs making you fat? Make sure you let me know in the comments below, share a link, and let me know what you think about carbs. Are you scared of carbs? Do you love carbs? What is your relationship with carbs? Let me know. I'm really interested to know. Now, aside from that, I want to tell you what type of carbs you should be eating to actually maintain a good health and lose weight. In order to make sure that we maintain a good weight and a healthy diet, we have to make sure to use the good sources of carbs. And what are those, and how does that work, and why do we have to do that? Now, we just learned how carbohydrates that we ingest gets digested in our body. Now, we need to understand the simpler the carbohydrate molecules are, the faster they're going to get digested, and the more rapidly they're going to raise your blood sugar. And that's exactly what we don't want. So in order to maintain healthy weight, we obviously have to make sure that we consume more complex carbohydrates as opposed to more simple carbohydrates. Here's a list of all the items that contains simple carbohydrates. This pretty much includes white bread, white flour, as well as everything that pretty much tastes sweet. Now, you might actually ask why fruits are not included in this list, because we all know they're very high in a simple carbs called fructose. Now, there are two answers to that. Number one is that fruits are full of vitamins and minerals that are essential for your body and health. Number two, they're full of digestible and indigestible fibers that are going to slow down the process of its digestion. Since they're going to be digested more slowly in your body, they're not going to raise your blood sugar as rapidly. However, you have to keep in mind that there are some fruits that are very high in sugar, so if you're watching your calories, you have to keep in mind that they're very calorie dense, and you might want to stick to the ones ones that are lower in sugar. Here's a list of all the fruits that are very, very high in sugar, and you want to use them in moderation. So as we mentioned, the good carbohydrates are going to have a slower digestion process. Therefore, if you use more complex carbohydrates, it's going to take longer to digest them. Even though some people might have problem digesting it, we're not talking about that, but we're talking about somebody who has no problem digesting more complex carbohydrates. They're going to be better for your body because they're not going to be raising your blood sugar rapidly, so your pancreas is not going to be working over time to create those enzymes and breaking down these molecules all the time. So what we don't want is a tired pancreas. If your pancreas is working overtime to digest all of these simple carbohydrates that you're getting, what's going to happen in the long run, that it's going to get tired and it's going to result in type 2 diabetes and obesity. So here's the list of all the good carbohydrates that you want to include in your diet, including whole grains, legumes, vegetables, and all the other good stuff. Now, everybody asks me about white rice. It smells delicious, and I love, love, love the taste of white rice. So much better than whole grain rice. But there's a problem with that. I always say to stay away from refined grains and processed food. And white rice is a type of refined grain. And what happens is that they take a whole grain rice and they're going to remove all the nutritious layers from it, bleach it, and give you white rice. By that time, the poor rice is going to lose all of its nutritious value, and it's just going to be this bleached grain that is a simple carbohydrates, and when you consume it, it's going to raise your blood sugar instantly. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're selecting rice. Now, as my last step, I'm going to talk about labeling. Labeling is something really, really important that I'm going to go over much more in details in my program coming up in January. If you're interested in that, make sure you download my free program listed in the description below. It's at no cost to you. All you have to do is to send me your email and I will email you the program. That way I have your email, and when my program comes out in January, you will be the first one to know. So let's talk about labeling. When you're purchasing any item that includes sugar, make sure you look at the ingredients list as well as the actual chart. In the ingredients, look for sugar, dextrose, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup sugar. These are all different names of sugar, and those are the products that you want to stay away from as much as you can. They should only include less than 10% of your daily calories. When you're purchasing bread, rice, and flour, you want to make sure you stay aware of the labels that are there to trick you. Labels such as multigrain, natural, those don't really mean anything, and they're just some marketing techniques to make you feel better about the product that you're purchasing. However, the words that you're looking for is whole wheat flour, whole wheat grain, and whole wheat rice. And obviously, if you're going to use oil to cook your grains, you have to make sure you pick the healthiest choice that is best for you. Make sure you check out the video that I listed up here in the cards and in the description below on the best cooking oil in the world. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, so if you like it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and let me know what you'd like to see next, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, being a part of my YouTube journey. See you next time.